One of the coolest wrestlers out there is the Hurricane. He's still killing it on the independent scene, but let's take a look back at his beginning and ending in the WWE. Real quick, thank you to Retro991, DJ David0426, Jake Garner, Kermit the Frog, Blazer King, Dalstar360, Ernesto Bravo, Suplex Next Gen, Pablo Aguilar, and Paulie I for requesting this video. Now let's get to it! I don't know what that was.
The Hurricane started wrestling when he was still a teenager in 1991. In the early portion of his career, he mainly wrestled in his home state of North Carolina. Eventually, he would branch out and wrestle for several smaller promotions in the US. Roughly 8 years after making his debut, he'd be signed by WCW in May 1999. Hurricane would use the same name he used while working as an independent wrestler, Shane Helms. Shane being Hurricane's middle name and Helms being his last. One of his highlights while in WCW was when he joined with Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous to form 3 Count. The group was a parody of boy bands, which were pretty popular at the time. The group lasted for roughly a year and were able to win the WCW Hardcore Championship in that time. But probably the Hurricane's biggest solo accomplishment in WCW was being the final Cruiserweight champion in the company, when he won the title for the first time at the final WCW pay-per-view, Greed. Of course, in March of 2001, WCW would be bought by WWE, but Hurricane wouldn't be seen until July, when he wrestled under the name Gregory Helms. But not long after arriving in WWE, Helms would receive a new name, The Hurricane. On the August 27th, 2001 episode of Raw, Matt Hardy was set to defend the European Championship. To everyone's surprise, a green, mask-wearing superhero answered the challenge, and his name was Hurricane Helms. Hardy was stunned, but he still used a handshake from Hurricane to get the upper hand at the start of the match. The Hurricane was able to bounce back after hitting a super kick and then a crossbody from the top rope. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for Hurricane to achieve a pinfall. Matt Hardy responded by hitting a side Russian leg sweep and a few more powerful moves. With the Hurricane down on the mat, Hardy climbed to the top turnbuckle and performed a leg drop. Since that went smoothly, Matt Hardy went to the top rope again, but this time took the Hurricane with him. This proved to be a mistake though, as Hurricane was able to counter, which caused both wrestlers to be laid out. With both men down, Ivory came out and attacked Lita, who had accompanied Matt Hardy. The reason for the interference was because both Ivory and the Hurricane were members of the group, the Alliance. Hardy tried to aid Lita, but got a strike from a crowbar instead. Hurricane took this opportunity to hit the eye of the Hurricane, which got him a 3 count, as well as the European Championship. The match was short and mostly dominated by Matt Hardy, but Hurricane did get a walkaway as a champion, so not overly impressive, but not underwhelming either. With Hurricane's debut finished up, let's move forward. Hurricane held the European title for roughly 2 months until losing it to Bradshaw, or JBL. After that, he would form a tag team with Lance Storm, and although they challenged for the tag team championships, they didn't win them. In 2002, Hurricane would be drafted to the SmackDown brand, where he'd win the Cruiserweight Championship, a little over a year after he won it in WCW. He'd lose the title at the King of the Ring, and be moved to Raw later in the year. While on the flagship show, he became the World Tag Team Champions with Kane. But his most memorable moment was in 2003, when he feuded with The Rock, and defeated him. Once that was over, Hurricane formed a new tag team with Rosie, and like his last team up, they won the World Tag Team Championship. They lose the titles in September 2005, holding them for a total of 140 days. After their championship reign, Hurricane would revert to Gregory Helms and turn on Rosie, claiming he was tired of carrying him as a partner. With his new attitude, Hurricane wrestled for and won the Cruiserweight Championship at the 2006 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. It turned out to be a historic victory because he held onto the title for over a year, losing it at the No Way Out event in 2007. Sadly, things only got worse, as about 3 months after losing the Cruiserweight Championship, Hurricane would undergo surgery and be out of action for over a year. He made his in-ring return in late 2008 on SmackDown, going back to the Hurricane Helms name, but without the mask or costume. Helms didn't last on the Blue Show for too long, because he was drafted to ECW in 2009. There, he went back to his Gregory Helms identity, and appeared mainly in just backstage segments for his first while as an ECW star. Then in August, he'd make his in-ring return, complete with mask and cape. He mainly feuded with Paul Burchill for the remainder of the year. Hurricane's last match as a full-time WWE wrestler was on January 26, 2010, when he teamed with Goldust and Yoshitatsu in a winning effort against Zack Ryder and the Dude Busters. After leaving WWE, Hurricane started working in the independent wrestling circuit. From 2015 to 2017, he was a part of TNA, or Impact Wrestling, working both on-screen and backstage. But in 2018, the Hurricane had a bit of unfinished business in WWE. It took place at the Royal Rumble on January 28, 2018, 8 years and 2 days since we had last seen the Hurricane in WWE. Seth Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, Andrade Cien Almas, and John Cena were all in the ring together for the Royal Rumble match. The buzzer sounded for the 21st entrant, and to everyone's surprise, it was the Hurricane. He got in the ring and confronted John Cena. Hurricane ducked a clothesline and went for a chokeslam. Unfortunately, Cena countered and threw the Hurricane over the top rope and eliminated him. I guess Hurricane forgot what happened in 2002. Anyways, Hurricane posed for the fans and made his way back to the Hurricane. I would have liked to see him do a bit more in the match, but it was cool just to have the Hurricane make a return. Since then, the Hurricane is still on the independent wrestling scene, and even performed in Ring of Honor a little while after his WWE return. The Hurricane was just an awesome character, and an idea that'd be cool to bring back in modern WWE. I don't know if we'll ever see the Hurricane make another return, but I'd be all for it. Tell me in the comments what your favorite Hurricane moment is. Also, check out the last episode we did on Chris Benoit. I'm Zach from Tap Out Corner, and that was Bell to Bell.